And I'm not talking just small. Here's another question. Let's think about this. What is the black hole made of? Okay. Well, you would only know this if you watched the previous videos. The black hole was the core of a star, a high mass star, until it exploded, right? Do you guys remember what element the core of a high mass star becomes that causes it to explode? Let's see if any of you guys remember that one if you watch those videos. Yeah, iron. That's correct. Iron. So the black hole, once the star explodes, that leftover core is made out of a lot of iron. And there's other stuff mixed in as well, but it's the iron that caused it to explode. So is a black hole made out of iron? That's my next question. Yes or no? Let's see if we can walk our way up to this. Is a black hole made out of iron once it becomes a black hole? No, that's correct. We already saw that a neutron star can't be made out of iron anymore because of weird changes in that star. So remember, the neutron star started with a lot of iron, but because gravity was able to crush the electrons into the protons, it just turned it into a whole ton of neutrons. A black hole has a different problem. A black hole, what's bigger? Here we go. Here's a question. What's bigger? A black hole or an iron atom? So iron atom or black hole? What's bigger? And by iron atom, I mean a single iron atom. You'd think the black hole, right? You'd think the black hole. But if a black hole was bigger than an iron atom, then that means that something stopped gravity from shrinking it. And we just got done saying that nothing stops a black hole from shrinking. So, here we go. Let me ask that question again. What's bigger, a single iron atom or a black hole? Which one's bigger? If nothing stops the black hole from shrinking. A single iron atom is bigger than a black hole. Black holes are ridiculously small. So a black hole can't be made out of iron atoms because a black hole is smaller than a single one. So let's figure this out. If this black hole is crushed down smaller than a single iron atom, what is going to have to happen to all of the iron atoms that we were crushing? Because remember, we were crushing down tons and tons, billions and billions and billions and billions of atoms. If we're crushing those atoms down smaller than the size of a single atom, what happens to those atoms? What has to happen to them? That's kind of a hard question. As you, nobody's trying to guess on that one. Oh wait, somebody was trying to guess. Let's see. Merge, that's a good way to put it. They're going to have to merge. Yeah, they would have to combine. Definitely. But what I was getting at is this. Let me give you guys a metaphor. Let's say that you had a brick wall. Let's say you had a brick wall. And you decided to crush that brick wall smaller than the size of a single brick. What's going to happen to all the bricks that you had? If you crush a brick wall smaller than a size of a single brick, what's going to happen to all those bricks? Don't overthink it. Yeah, exactly. They're going to be destroyed. You're gonna crush them all over the place. They're going to be destroyed. So essentially what's going to happen is that as the black hole is forming, as it's shrinking after the death of the star, because gravity crushes it smaller than the size of a single atom, all of the atoms are going to be destroyed. They're going to break. It's like the atomic equivalent of turning to dust. But here we go. When you break an atom, what are its pieces? What are the pieces of an atom? What are the typical pieces? There's 3 pieces of a typical atom, 3 kinds of piece. What are they? In other words, what are atoms made out of? Give me at least one of them. Yep, electrons, neutrons, and protons. So the first thing that's going to happen as the black hole is forming is that all of the atoms will be ripped apart, okay? But nothing ever stops gravity. So here's my next question. What is bigger? A proton or a black hole? So we've ripped our atoms apart into protons, neutrons, and electrons, but gravity doesn't stop. So what's bigger, a single proton or a black hole with 2 to 3 times the mass of our sun? A proton's bigger. So this black hole will crush down smaller than a single proton. So if that happens, what's going to happen to all the protons? If you're crushing down all of the bajillions of protons into a size smaller than a single proton, what's going to happen to all the protons? Let's see if we can walk this one step forward. All those protons are going to get destroyed, yes. All of those protons are going to get destroyed. And then we can do the same thing with electrons. Electrons are smaller than protons, but a single black hole is smaller than every electron, so the electrons are all going to get destroyed as well. They're all going to get ripped apart and then crushed even tighter. So the question of what is a black hole made out of is a hard one, because every single substance is bigger than a black hole is. So a black hole has what size? What size is a black hole? Well, the only way you can really put it into words is a black hole is infinitely small. Infinitely small. It is as small as possible. All of the material of the black hole, no matter how much material it has, is in the same place. An infinitely small, microscopic, way beyond microscopic, single dot. And so, the entire black hole is just one single dot, where all of the material is. In fact, that little dot that I just drew over there, that's too big, right? It's an infinitely small dot. You could almost say that a black hole has no size. There's no size to a black hole. It's infinitely small. How is this possible? It turns out that reality is far stranger than we normally experience in our everyday lives, okay? A black hole is smaller than every single type of object. In fact, we can't say that a black hole is made of a type. We can't say a black hole is made of a type of material because it's just mass. It's just mass in a dot. It is actually, even though it's super hard to wrap your head around it, technically, this means black holes are the simplest possible object. It's just stuff in a dot. That's what a black hole is. If you wanted to put it in like the most basic language, a black hole is stuff in an infinitely small dot. Mass in an infinitely small dot. And we call that single place where all of the material is the singularity. Which is a pretty good name for it. The singularity is the single place where all of the material of the black hole is. The singularity is the physical black hole. And let's blow our minds a little bit more. Check this out. What if we took 1 billion black holes, 1 billion of them, and put them all together? What would be bigger? Those billions of black holes, that billion black holes put together, or this dot that I drew over here? What would be bigger? 1 billion black holes or the dot? The dot would be bigger, okay? You could fit billions of black holes into what I actually drew. So what I drew is too big to be a real singularity. Black holes are ridiculous. Now, okay, so here's another question. Why is the universe like this? Who knows why the universe is like this? The best we can do here is explain how it works, okay?